From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, we've seen a very nice day area-wide today. Temperatures got into the 60s, around 63 degrees, and that's where we are across the area right now. 63 degrees in Lansing, 64 in Mason, 66 into Jackson, and even 64 down into Hillsdale. Satellite radar shows some light rain showers moving through, although some of these aren't even making it to the ground because we still have that little bit of drier air at the surface. So don't be too surprised if you see a little bit of some raindrops on your windshields as you're heading out the door to home on your way home. Over the next 12 hours, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with temperatures falling into the 50s and even into the upper 40s. All of the details about more rain showers moving in just a little bit. 6 News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start that clock. We have a lot of news to cover in the first 6 minutes, and we're starting in Michigan, where jury selection in the murder trial against a former Grand Rapids police officer began today in a Kent County courtroom. Christopher Schur is facing a charge of second-degree murder in the death of Patrick Lyoya. The former officer made a traffic stop on Lyoya in 2022. It turned into a physical struggle that ended with Schur shooting and killing Lyoya. His attorneys say he acted in self-defense. As of this afternoon, 8 potential jurors were seated out of a pool of 200. There will eventually be 14 by the end of the week. Opening statements are expected to begin on Monday. A shelter-in-place order in Roseville has now been lifted following a large industrial fire in the Detroit suburb. People living in the area were told to stay inside and keep their doors and windows closed. Officials say there was a risk of chemical release from the smoke from that fire. They gave the order just before noon today. Some roads around the area were also closed. Well, moving to Calhoun County, where the sheriff's office there says someone driving the wrong way on I-94 caused a serious crash. It happened very early this morning, just west of the I-69 interchange. Deputies say a 50-year-old Lansing man driving a pickup was traveling west in the eastbound lanes and hit another vehicle. 2 people in that vehicle were injured and taken to a hospital. Deputies say the driver of the truck was drunk and was arrested. We'll take a look at this. A woman and her 2 grandchildren narrowly missed getting caught in a manhole explosion on Saturday. This video was just published by the Poughkeepsie Fire Department. Officials say 3 manholes exploded that day. The woman says she grabbed the grandchild to run away, but the manhole ahead of them also blew up. There were no injuries reported. Investigators say multiple buildings in that area had elevated carbon monoxide levels. On Interstate 65 in Indiana, a tractor trailer exploded. Police say a mechanical failure on the tractor part of the truck caused a fire on Monday, which then caught the trailer on fire. The trailer was also hauling cans of a flammable material. Officials did not say exactly what it was. The driver of the truck was not hurt. And in Florida, more vehicle fires, a lot more. A large fire started in a salvage yard this morning, but was brought under control before noon. Firefighters say many of the 100-plus stacked cars were clean of gasoline or other flammable fluids, but some still had fuel. About 40 firefighting units responded to fight this fire. No cause has been announced just yet, and there were no injuries reported. A mystery in Massachusetts tonight. A town there woke up last week Friday to almost 500 nails embedded points up in roads and driveways. Some of them were also placed under vehicles' tires. They were first spotted by a police officer on patrol in the early morning hours. There were no reports of damage from the nails, but police are still looking for the person responsible. Imagine spending more than 11 hours trapped underground. It happened to 4 men in Spain. Thankfully, they are all safe tonight, but the men were trapped in an 82-foot deep shaft that was formed naturally in a gypsum deposit by water erosion. The 4 explorers entered the cave around 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon and were finally rescued and brought to the surface after 1 a.m. They were reportedly in good health. Also in Spain, another rescue, this one on top of a snowy mountain. Mountaineers became stranded in bad weather on Friday. They had to be rescued by emergency crews walking there because helicopters just could not get through that weather. One member of the group, a 7-year-old child, was partially blinded by the snow because of the sun and was carried out by a stretcher. In India, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday. The U.S. is India's largest trading partner. The two countries are now holding negotiations to finalize a bilateral trade agreement this year. The goal is to more than double bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030.
Critics have attacked my president, President Trump, for starting a trade war in an effort to bring back the jobs of the past, but nothing could be further from the truth. He seeks to rebalance global trade so that America, with friends like India, can build a future worth having for all of our people together.
Earlier this month, President Donald Trump announced a 90-day pause in tariffs in which imports from most countries would face a baseline 10% tax so that there was time to hold talks. Today is Earth Day, and back here in Michigan, the state's largest city, is a little more green. Arborists planted giant sequoias on vacant land as part of the Giant Sequoia Filter Forest project. The Motor City is a pilot city for this program. The trees, which are the largest in the world, are native to California, where they're threatened by wildfires.
Trying to breathe clean air, we're trying to create shade, we're trying to soak up the storm water. And I think sequoias are, among all the trees we plant, maybe the strongest, best candidates for that.
The massive conifers can grow to more than 300 feet tall with a more than 30-foot circumference at the base, and they can live to be more than 3,000 years old. And wrapping up our first 6 minutes of news tonight, in New York City, cats are an important part of keeping bodegas free of pests and giving the stores some feline character. Well, now a group of cat-themed Instagram accounts have joined together to create an online fundraiser to pay for veterinary care for the cats. Money will go towards vaccinations, spay and neuter services, and any other emergency care for services that for some of New York's cat icons. The idea came from a petition which was signed by more than 11,000 supporters. Well, that's very nice.
I love that. I'm just a huge cat person to begin with, so like anything cat related, it's just like icing on the cake.
Yeah. Do you have a cat?
I have not here, but back home I do.
Okay.
Yeah. His name is Beans.
Oh, nice. I've got
Yeah.
a Stevie.
Yeah.
Stevie cat at home.
Yeah.
Very cute. Nice.
Well, it was a very nice day today. We'll continue to see these nice conditions in the forecast for the next couple of days. We do cool down in the weekend, but I'll have the full forecast in just a little bit.
All right. And then coming up later,